Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. And online with us is Dr. Kyle Horton, MD, an internal medicine physician and Democratic candidate for Congress from North Carolina's 7th District, which is currently represented by Republican Dave Rouser. The website for Dr. Kyle is drkyleforcongress.com. That's DRKYLEFOR Congress.com. And you can tweet Dr. Kyle at DRKYLE 4 Congress. Dr. Kyle, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Tom.
Thanks for joining us. So tell us about why you decided to, I mean, you're a physician, you've got a practice, you're doing well in the world. Why did you decide to jump into electoral politics?
Yeah, so I have experience as a VA physician. And so I fundamentally got in this race because I've been a fighter for patients, for veterans, and for our American way of life that I truly believe is being threatened. There is imminent harm with taking away people's access to life-saving healthcare coverage. So that's why I decided to step up for the hardworking families of Eastern North Carolina.
That is marvelous. That is marvelous. And what do you see as the largest issues in your particular race in the 7th District of North Carolina? And what are the things where your opponent, Dave Rouser, has been particularly bad and you'd like to bring some change to the state?
Yeah, so not surprisingly, healthcare coverage is a huge issue for my district. There are roughly maybe about 110,000 in my district, or about 15% of the population in my district, who could lose healthcare coverage with repeal of the ACA without a viable replacement. So this is truly a matter of life and death. So that is a stark area of contrast because, as you might imagine, as an incumbent Republican, he was celebrating with Donald Trump in the Rose Garden, potentially taking away people's access to health care. Okay. So that's a fundamental issue. It's also an issue that we have a water contamination problem in our area. And as a physician and someone who cares about public health, I have really been someone who has said that we should put our fundamental rights as human beings to clean water over corporate polluters. My opponent, on the other hand, has been taking money from DuPont, even as recent as a couple of weeks ago, although they were the culprit, an offshoot company of polluting our water with a potential cancer-causing agent. So Those are two big issues in my district.
So you've got a major corporation poisoning people in your district, and the Republican who represents your district is just fine with that. In fact, takes money from them. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, so he's funding his campaign off of corporate polluters who are risking the health of our children. And that's not a Republican issue. That's not a Democratic issue. That's a fundamental issue of life and death that affects the hardworking families.
And of political corruption, in my opinion. I mean, that's mind-boggling. So tell us about the PCCC. You're at the Progressive Change Campaign Committee, the Adam Green's organization, at the PCCC candidate training camp. Tell us about what you're learning, or if it has not yet begun, what you hope to learn, why you're there.
Yeah, so I came to the PCCC training because they're really at the forefront of making sure that we as candidates are prepared to run really bold, progressive campaigns, but that adhere to and focus on our economies and making sure that they're working for working and middle-class families like mine. So what I'm really hoping to learn and what we've been trained on is a lot of messaging. How do we effectively make sure that our campaigns are about our voters and connecting the issues that we're passionate about as progressives on a very personal level with people. So that's what I'm hoping to learn. That's
great. I believe their website is boldprogressives.org, and their Twitter handle is @boldprogressive. And, of course, you are drkyleforcongress.com, DRKYLEFOR Congress.com, and you can be tweeted at DRKyle 4 Congress. Dr. Kyle Horton, thank you so much for dropping by today, and good luck on your campaign. Will you contact us from time to time and let us know how it's working out?
I love that. Thanks again, Tom.
Great. Thanks so much. Great talking with you. I really appreciate you coming on. Much appreciated.